After all the initial dust settled from the LIV golf signings, players going over, speculations of who is going next, there was two main points that came into contention in the world of golf, and that was world ranking points, were they going to get them, and the majors, were they going to be able to play? Arguably, the majors was the biggest thing on the players' minds, especially top-end players like Dustin Johnson and Cameron Smith, who want to still compete on the world stage. Well, we at least have one of the four answers now, and we're going to talk about it, why it could or could not be good for golf, and I want to hear what you guys have to think. So stay tuned to the end, hear what I have to say, and then drop your comments below. Tell me if you agree with me or not. Alright, second video in a 12-hour stretch. I haven't even changed from recording last night, but I wanted to hop on here and get this one out to you ASAP because to me, this is huge news. Obviously, this personally was one of the biggest points of contention going forward with all the LIV stuff. The thing I was most curious to see, are we still going to have best against best at the biggest tournaments in golf? The place where it matters most to have the best players in the world competing, are we still going to be allowed to witness that? And to be completely fair to whatever your feelings are to LIV, I think everybody would be disappointed to not know that there are potentially some players who need to be there who just aren't there for this reason. And now obviously this is not the vast majority of LIV players. The vast majority of LIV players, if they weren't at the Masters, would make zero difference in my opinion, but there are a few, most notably past champion Dustin Johnson and currently challenging, I would say, world number one Cameron Smith, or at least he's up there. He's in the conversation after his performance this year at the Open. Right before he went to LIV, he was number 2 in the world. He is definitely one of the best golfers in the world and definitely a potential favorite to win at this year's Masters tournament. Bridging right into that, earlier this morning, the Masters had a press release on their website followed by multiple articles, Golf Digest and other publications talking about the fact that the Masters have made the decision to allow LIV players to participate. If they were pre-qualified for the tournament, then they are going to be extended their invitation this week. And this is big. Obviously, the Masters is really, in my opinion, the biggest major, and it also sets precedents for kind of all the ones to follow, I think, in some way at least. It will have bleed off into at least the 2 Opens, but all of these tournaments just being entities that can make their own decisions in a lot of cases, like governed by the USGA and then obviously the Open. You have different governing bodies that can make these decisions, but seeing the Masters, really one of the most historical traditions we have in the game, one of the purest tests, one of the biggest weekends in all of sports. This is something that people even outside the golfing community look to, even if they're only watching one tournament a year. That tournament is the Masters, and so, you know, really having the importance of the best on best competition there, in my opinion, is huge. Like, if Rory McIlroy goes and wins his green jacket, I want to see him beating Cameron Smith. I want to see him competing against all of the best players in the world. So overall, do I think this is good for the game of golf? Yes. I think the Masters, and really honestly all the majors, I think if you want to claim that it's a major, you have to allow any player in the world who's the best player, one of the best players in the world, to compete there. You have to find a way to rank them, to get them into these tournaments, and to allow them to compete. What you never want to have with the Masters is an asterisk beside the winner. You never want there to be doubt that they didn't beat all of the best players in the world who deserve to be there on that given day to become the champion of that tournament. That is what makes the Masters so exciting. It's what makes all the majors so exciting. And this is why I'm very excited the Masters made this decision. But let me know your thoughts down in the comments below.